And I am what I am. Don't try to complicate this. I'm running out of patience. And I am what I am.
Так, всем привет. Продолжаем Инквизицию, развивать нашу Инквизицию. Это уже 4-я часть. Уже 4-я часть. Ох. Проседает подруга не по-детски. Ого. А почему наши ребята не бьют? Угу. Класс, 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 мне нравится. Что-то мне подсказывает чувство, что это нам еще рано проходить. Подсказывает чувство, поэтому мы пойдем проходить другие места. Пока что. Там зелья закончились у кого-то. Все нормально. Все, теперь с новыми силами можно идти.
Damn it, Ritz, where are you?
I found Ritz and rescued her from an attack by the Templars. She's fine.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time. It's dangerous out here for everyone. I'm glad the Inquisition is trying to put things right.
Плюс слияние. Так, куда нам дальше? Думаю, можно сюда сходить. Просто с демоном гнева или что там было за тварь, мы не справимся пока что, мне кажется.
You know, not every dwarf likes caves.
Так, хорошо. Пещерку обыскали. Хорошо, вроде все. Эти храмовники, конечно. Можем попробовать закрыть, конечно, этот завес. Мне кажется, он тоже будет сложный. Все. Прекрасно. Полный инвентарь. Вот это поворот. Хотя может что-то одеть кому-то. Хотя нет, у нас все на инвентаре остается. Обидненько. Тогда уничтожим. Ничего не поделать. Воспользуемся телепортиком в лагерь. Хотя нам, в принципе, можно в плавный лагерь. Сюда едем.
Master Harry said we weren't. Harry does.
Думаю, дитята, потому что тут есть место под средние наручи, по ножи и под знак. А тут только под знак места. Поэтому, думаю, лучше это одеть. А по оружию тоже сейчас посмотрю, в принципе. По кинжалам, в принципе, все нормально. Так, вроде все продал.
When will you be able to get us the crafting supplies we need? Can I help you with something?
If I have material for a special order, do I bring it to you?
Just take it over there. One of my boys will take the materials or...
Farewell.
Окей, окей, я понял.
Thanks for checking anyway.
О, что-то происходит. Движ Париж.
Lies. Your kind let her die. Shut your mouth, mate!
Enough!
Knight Captain.
That is not my title. We are not Templars any longer. We are all part of the Inquisition.
And what does that mean exactly?
Back already, Chancellor. Haven't you done enough?
I'm curious, Commander, as to how your Inquisition and its herald will restore order as you've promised.
Of course you are. Back to your duties, all of you. Mages and Templars were already at war. Now they're blaming each other for the Divine's death.
Which is why we require a proper authority to guide them back to order.
Who? You? Random clerics who weren't important enough to be at the Conclave?
The Rebel Inquisition and its so-called Herald of Andraste? I think not.
If the proper authority hadn't completely failed, the Conclave wouldn't have been needed.
So you suggest I blame the Chantry and exalt a murderer? What of justice?
That won't help restore order in the here and now.
Order will never be restored so long as this rebellion is allowed to fester.
Remind me why you're allowing the Chancellor to stay?
Clearly, your Templar knows where to draw the line.
He's toothless. There's no point turning him into a martyr simply because he runs at the mouth. The Chancellor's a good indicator of what to expect in Val Royeaux, however.
How widespread is the violence between mages and Templars?
Impossible to say.
Your organization flouting the Chantry's authority will not help matters.
With the Conclave destroyed, I imagine the war between mages and Templars is renewed with interest.
The mages and Templars are fighting, even though we don't know what...
Я не знаю, как это описать. Ну, как он стоит, я не могу смотреть на это. Почему они испортили сцены с диалогами с первой, второй части и сделали вот это? Зачем? Как это работает? Ну вот, я стою задом. Камеру могу покрутить, двигаться я не могу.
I'll make sure they see reason in Val Royeaux.
I pray you're right.
Apothecary Adon will have more poultices for the injured as soon as possible, revered mother.
Thank you, child. You are doing... Greetings, Herald of Andraste. How fares your quest to seal the breach?
I'm doing everything within my power.
A task, such as closing the breach, is a heavy burden. I hope you do not carry it alone. We remember Andraste, but Andraste did not carry the Chant of Light alone. She had generals, advisors, even her husband for a time. Do everything within your power, but remember those who would help you.
Нет никакого создателя.
I don't believe in the Maker.
Fair enough. But Andraste lived, and her deeds, however shrouded by myth, have their basis in fact. If you do not believe the Chant of Light, at least consider it a map of the dangers you might face. In any case, I pray this Inquisition proves less brutal than its predecessor.
Can you tell me about the original Inquisition?
The original Inquisition was formed after the First Blight, well before the Chantry as we know it. The Inquisitors were hunters, zealots, who tracked and killed cultists and dangerous mages. As Andraste rose to power, the Inquisition came into her service. Instead of hunting those who would do harm, the Inquisitors spread the chant of light by force.
No wonder everyone is so nervous around us. Who chose that name?
Divine Justinia herself. I understand that this was not a popular decision. In any case, once the chant of light had spread far and wide, there was less need for zealots. The Inquisitors became the seekers of truth, and eventually the Templars.
This is a dark chapter of history for the Divine to revisit.
Do you know what impresses me most about the original Inquisition? They fought horrific battles, killed and died for their cause, and when it was time, they put their swords away. Perhaps the name was Divine Justinia's message, that when the Inquisition is needed, it will strike without mercy. But when its work is done, it will put its sword away.
Do you know who the Grand Clerics will choose as the next Divine?
It is a difficult decision. All the obvious candidates perished with Divine Justinia at the Conclave. The Grand Clerics are terrified of the Inquisition. They will not decide soon, and I fear they will not decide wisely. Whoever is chosen needs the Inquisition's support. No one else seems likely to seal the breach.
How are the people doing after what happened at the Conclave?
They are scared, of course. Many have lost homes or loved ones. I doubt many will sleep well until you have sealed the breach. I have offered what help I can. The rest is for the Inquisition. What more do you wish to know?
How are the villagers in Haven doing?
They are terrified. Many of them came here because the war between the Mages and the Templars destroyed their homes. In their minds, the death of a Divine has destroyed any chance of peace. To that, add the breach. Farmers have fled their fields. If we do not restore order, half of Tedasa may starve.
What are you doing to help these people?
My sisters and I have been tending to the injured as best we are able. Some refugees come with food, while others arrive empty-handed. I have helped ensure that all have enough to eat. Beyond that, many simply wish the familiar comfort of the chant of light. It is little enough work to offer some comfort to those in pain.
Do you have information on people elsewhere?
The refugees in the hinterlands are desperate. Without help, starvation or war will claim many lives. Villagers in Crestwood are besieged by their own dead. They have sent word begging for assistance. People are vanishing in the hills of Emprise de Lyon. It may be demons or something worse, but they are terrified. More than that I cannot say. It is a chaotic time for all in Olay and Ferelden.
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
Хорошая история, спасибо.
Ah, Lord Trevelyan. May I have a moment?
We will study that. You've brought back some fascinating things. We're putting them to good use.
I'll speak with you later.
Thank you again for what you've brought back.
Yes, Ambassador?
I'd like to discuss your parents.
A little sudden, but it's time someone made an honest man of me.
What? Very amusing. This is serious. I'd like to dispatch a courier asking the bands of House Trevelyan to align themselves with us. What are your thoughts? Should we approach your family for their formal support of the Inquisition?
With the Trevelyan's, my presence may close more doors than it opens. My family and I are not on the best of terms.
I'm sorry to hear that. I shall not.
Ну, я не знаю вообще, в каких они отношениях. Просто выбрал такой вариант. Типа, изгой. Ну, просто Без понятия тут про отношения, никакой истории не было.
Orlais has a proper empire. Free marchers never unite until Darkspawn knock at their door.
No one doubts their ferocity when it happens. Free marchers are renowned for their tenacity. Speaking of which, I should thank you for your patience with the simple quarters. The accommodations in Haven are surely rough for someone of your birth.
This can't be what you're accustomed to, Ambassador.
One adjusts. I stay busy. It helps take my mind from our surroundings. And the cold. And the wildlife. And the lack of civilization for miles around. Why anyone lived here before we found Andraste's ashes, I cannot imagine.
Don't worry about me. Haven's more than livable.
Really? If that is how you feel, I'm pleased to hear it. Until next time, my lord.
Побазарили. Можно уходить. Так, созываем братишек.
You were saying something about Cullen?
Yes. Haven has limited space for our soldiers to train. Perhaps we could set up something over here.
О, прикольно. Для кого я выбрал? Ясно. Ну, как я понял, не важно. Кого выбрал?
Let us begin. Let's see what we have.
Ну, в принципе, все.
You built for them the golden city, the center of all creation. I did not see good Templars and evil mages in...
Ну, почему она мне показывается? Ну вот, показывает мне. Ладно. Пойду найду эти заготовки. Где тут отряд собрать? Пойду к аптекарю схожу.
Segret told me that he can't let the herbs go for anything less than...
You're back. And in one piece.
Надо мне чего с ним общаться. Эмбрион 34, пророческий лавр 5. Ого. А тут корень еще один надо, королевский. Угу. Хорошо. Зелье улучшили. Теперь к кузнецу сходим.
At least we've got Inquisition troops out at Redcliffe now, giving those people some reason.
Thank you for hurrying with the potions. We have so many injured.
With passionate breath does the darkness creep. It is the
Come on, you've seen our mounts. Most of them should be pulling plows.
Didn't all grow up with fancy noble horses, Northburg. You'd ride whatever. Scouts instead of bobbing around with nobles anyway.
Researcher Minave has notes on Aloe.
Так. Какие характеристики у него будут? 118. О, посоха. Такое себе.
You mages aren't half bad.
I am no longer a maid.
Even better. Another time, then.
Так, интересного ничего нет. Пойду я к торговцу загляну. В принципе, улучшение для пьянки есть, как вариант.
We've got scattered reports of Tevinter sightings in the
Бля, и что я продал? Так. Как улучшить теперь? Улучшить тут нужно. Я так думаю.
Smithing is hot work.
Чему только капризный лук? А, все. Так, все, в принципе. принципе. Идем сюда теперь. Что это за подруга?
You don't sound happy about that.
I'm not. I did not join the Order to adjust my faith so easily, but I appreciate what the Inquisition is trying to do, and your role. Though you may find not many Templars do. We're a distrustful lot by nature.
How did you come to be a Templar?
It seemed the right thing to do. My family are tradesfolk in Denerim. I could have become a cobbler like my father, but this seemed better. It's a chance to uphold the Chantry's laws and help the mages through a troubled time.
Not every Templar feels that way.
I know. Power can corrupt. It's a delicate balance. One person trying to do something can make a difference. You should keep that in mind, Harold.
I'd like your take on the Templar Order.
It's a shadow of what it was. Where once we both protected all people from the dangers of magic, we now posture and grab at power. One day, I hope the circles are again sanctuaries where mages can practice their craft.
You're not going to rejoin the Order?
When the temple went up, your forces rescued those few of us still alive. My life is a debt I intend to repay, however I can.
Do you have any idea what caused the explosion?
No, I'm just a recruit. Belief and faith doesn't get you closer to the important meetings. Though that distance did save my life.
I will talk to you later.
Walk in the maker's...
Вы идеалистка. Вот так вот. Интересно, что цвет меняется? Типа они так показывают солнце. Они ж не завезли сюда смену дня и ночи, я думаю. Так, хорошо, все-таки квест где-то в крепости. Вот там вот, понятно. Конечно, эта смена контраста, это пипец. Что? Ну и что там было? Непонятно. Дойдем сюда. И на лесозаготовку. Тут недалеко.
Might be something here. Better take a closer look.
Так, хорошо, дальше идем сюда. Пес они наспавнили тут, конечно. Кучу всего просто. Думаю, там что-то есть. Можно пройтись, конечно.
May as well turn around.
Ага. Все-таки там нет ничего. Хорошо. Тронута тенью железа. Интересненько. Тук-тук. Опа. Прекрасно. Что-то дальше есть что-то интересное. Ну, еще тут есть железо у нас. А сам проход закрыт. Короче, просто собираю. Симулятор собирателя травы. Не знаю, почему карта открывается. Походу из-за того, что я подошел к краю. Я понял, что означает эта штука, все-таки оборона она означает. Желтая полосочка — это выносливость. Че, после него даже ничего не осталось? Просто запись открыл. Че, вы зря пинал столько? Получается, зря. В принципе, все, можно в лагерь возвращаться. Я думаю, что тут будет что-то интересненькое еще. Переместиться нельзя, да? Только таким образом я понял. Ладно, да, просто идем домой. Возле кузнеца еще купец. Надо с ним тоже побазарить. Что-то интересное продает. Ясно, текстурки мешают пройти, я понял. Типа проходи, но типа нет, ты не можешь пройти. Тун-тун-тун-тун-тун-тун-тун. Есть ли смысл говорить с Кассандрой? Поговорим.
It occurs to me I don't actually know much about you.
What do you want to know?
I'm not sure. Where are you from?
I thought you knew that.
I suppose I could ask Liliana. She has collected a frightening amount of information on you. But I don't want to ask her. I want to hear it from you.
I was born in Auschwitz, and that's where most of my family is.
The Trevelyan's, is it not? A large clan with a rather clever coat of arms. Tell me, do you consider the Free Marches your home? Are you eager to go back?
Wherever I am is home enough for me.
That's how I feel now, after years of tending to business for the divine.
I'd like to get to know you better.
You would?
Is that a problem?
Not entirely. I'm just curious as to your motivation.
Is there any harm in us becoming a little closer?
Plenty.
Is that right?
As you wish. My name is Cassandra Pentecost, daughter of the Royal House of Navarra, 78th in line for the Navarran throne. I joined the Seekers of Truth as a young woman, and was with the Order until they withdrew from the Chantry. I remained as the Divine's right hand, carrying out her order to form the Inquisition. And here we are. That's all there is to know, my lord.
You're a member of Navarra's royal family.
The Pentecosts are a very large clan. Half of Cumberland could say the same.
Really?
No, but it feels that way. I have hundreds of relatives so distant they need charts to prove we're related at all. And they have them. Oh yes. The Pentecosts value their precious blood like it runs with gold.
And you joined the Seekers to get away from that?
It was a life worth getting away from. The Pentecosts are famed for dragon hunting, but few actually pursue the craft. Most are fat and lazy. They pay lip service to the Maker and care only for idle pleasures and past glories. My brother was all that kept me in Navarra. Once he was gone, so was I.
Tell me about your brother.
I would prefer not to speak of Anthony. Another time, perhaps.
You don't seem to like your homeland much.
My family polluted it for me. What little I saw of my homeland was through the bars of a gilded cage. My uncle treated me like a porcelain doll to be placed on a shelf and dusted only when necessary. Thus I did not see Navarra, the real Navarra, until much later. By then I realized I knew it not at all.
Your uncle? What about your parents?
They had the misfortune of taking the wrong side in the second attempt to overthrow King Marcus. The king executed them, but spared my brother and I since we were family, and children at the time. Thus we were raised by my uncle, a mortale Tarsi who preferred the company of his corpses to the living.
Your uncle was a mortale Tarsi?
A death mage. He still is. My countrymen do not burn the dead, they bury them in special crypts. The mortale Tarsi supervise the crypts, like priests. Uncle Vestalis oversees the grand necropolis. Navarrans spend more time honoring dead relatives than they do with living ones. It is odd to be so fascinated with death and its trappings. I will never understand it.
So you were the right hand to the Divine.
To Divine Justinia, yes. And Divine Beatrix before her, in fact. The position is normally reserved for Templars of the Knights Divine, but my circumstances were unusual.
Unusual how?
You don't know the story? Thank the Maker. I will tell you if you wish, but it isn't as exciting as some drum it up to be. The short version is that I once saved the previous Divine's life. My reward was becoming her right hand.
But what does a right hand do exactly?
What is your hand capable of? It gives, it takes, it beckons. It makes a fist. Liliana and I extended the Divine's reach beyond the Grand Cathedral. We went where she could not. After Beatrix, I was tired of the position and wanted to return to the Seekers. But Justinia convinced me to stay. Her vision for the future gave me hope.
You thought she could really change things?
Justinian knew the war was coming long before it began. She tried to avert it, but the forces arrayed against her were too strong. Sometimes you have to break a bone so it can be reset. That's where the Inquisition comes in. It was to be the answer. A means to preserve as well as an agent for change. I only wish she had lived to see it.
So what's the story about you becoming the right hand?
Sweet Andraste, do you really want to hear that? It was, what, 18, 20 years ago? Some still discuss it like it happened yesterday. The tale gets bigger each time it's told. I barely recognize myself within it now.
I'm sure you're just being modest.
I was there. I think I know what happened. To hear others tell it, I alone saved Divine Beatrix from a horde of dragons sent to assault the Grand Cathedral. Rather impressive for such a young seeker, wouldn't you say?
And the truth is?
I stumbled upon a conspiracy to kill Beatrix. A Templar Knight Commander was at its heart, and there was a dragon battle at the Grand Cathedral, but I had help from loyal mages who rallied to the cause. They freed the dragons from magical control. Without them, the Divine and I would both have died. Yet I became the right hand, and they are forgotten.
You're delightful. You know that?
No, I do not know that. I object. There is nothing delightful about me.
I beg to differ.
I think I preferred you in the stocks.
I'll let you get back to work.
Так, ладненько. На этой прекрасной ноте комплиментов можно закончить. В следующей части уже будем дальше изучать внутренние земли. Ну, еще к торговцу зайду и сдам квест на лесозаготовку. И потом, соответственно, уже можно отправляться в внутренние земли и там продвигаться потихоньку. Ладненько, всем спасибо. На сегодня это все. Ждите. И будет следующая часть. Всем спасибо. Всем пока.